Hey, this is Jeff. Welcome back to Coito Ergo Sum, Less Talk, More Action, a series which wants you to be its Valentine. Last week we made bodies for Fresca and Kara, but we ran into a slight complication with the quest to make movies, which we'll get to in a minute. Courier Jeff needs food, water, and sleep, but before any of that, we haven't had time for more than a quick hello goodbye with Keikata for days.
Wanna sit and watch the fire for a bit?
That sounds nice.
It is.
Oh, you would not believe the week I had. Oh, wait till you hear this. So then Carter's like, I can cure that, but you may like the treatment even less than the symptom, and he comes at me with a heavy incinerator. I mean, what else was I supposed to do? She was a human being once. I couldn't just put her down like a feral dog. So I'm standing there with clothes for Kara, and the body she picks is Atomic.
This is nice, but I'm getting kind of warm. You might even say hot. Maybe we could do the rest of our relaxing in bed?
I like the sound of that.
I thought you might. Let's go.
The bad news about Fresca is, I'm sometimes contrary in the way I do things, and apparently I discovered a rare but quest-breaking bug.
Hey, it's the hottest producer in Vegas. What's happening?
If you offer to give her a guided tour, she becomes a full-fledged follower, with a companion wheel and all that. If you do that before you leave cytogenesis, or any time before the bug occurs, everything is fine. If you just say, let's go back to lollipops and make movies, she'll actually follow you anywhere, but she doesn't have a companion wheel, and as soon as you get to lollipops, she goes into the studio and starts working. You can take her almost anywhere without any problems, but there is one location where if you take her before she gets to lollipops and she doesn't have a companion wheel, she gets stuck like this. That location is the Slater Mansion, and guess where I took her last week? I wanted to start making movies immediately to make sure Leah can be in one before she goes back to California, so I didn't offer to give Fresca a tour yet, but I wanted help carrying the video equipment, so I went straight from cytogenesis to the mansion. The good news is Belthan's going to fix it in the next update, and in the meantime, there's supposedly a workaround, which is first we need to hire her as a follower.
That would be great. Let's go.
And now take her back to the mansion so she can finish doing what she would have done if she had a companion wheel the first time we were there. Still back there? So far, so good. Now we just need to take her into the mansion, and she should get straightened out. And there she goes. That's promising.
Larry, it's Fresca. How have you been?
If this is a joke, I assure you it is not funny.
Larry, it's me. It's kind of hard to explain. Suspended animation sort of thing. You don't sound like yourself either.
It's a mutation, not uncommon. My lifespan has been greatly extended, but my looks have suffered somewhat.
You were never as good looking as you thought you were, Larry. They were just after your money.
You are definitely Fresca Coy. I'm sorry you weren't revived in better circumstances. Do you have any plans? Lollipops is back in business.
There's enough equipment at the ranch to set up a studio. Is it okay if I use it?
Absolutely. I'd offer to help with the financing, but the logistics would be impractical.
No problem. Just having your name under executive producer will boost the gross by 20%.
And having your name under director will triple it. I wish I could see it.
If this connection has the bandwidth, I'll send you a copy.
That would rival the day the first new issue of the magazine came off the presses. Good luck.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
So obviously, the first time she's in a location with a speakerphone, she calls Larry, because he's the only friend she has left from before the war. But the one at the mansion doesn't work if she doesn't have a companion wheel, and that's what gets her stuck.
The first time I was here, I asked Larry what kind of jackass built a swimming pool in the desert. He said, a rich jackass, naturally.
For whatever reason, the one at Lollipops works whether she has a companion wheel or not, so the bug is only triggered in this one very specific sequence of events, which is probably why it hadn't been reported before. Well, this is the moment of truth. If it doesn't work, I guess I'll have to reload a save from before we left Cytogenesis. Here we go. Confused but not paralyzed. That's a good sign. So we'll just take her to the studio, dismiss her as a follower, and hopefully she'll start going about her get the studio ready routine.
What's on your mind?
It's been fun, but I'm sure you have things to do in the studio. I'll let you get to it.
All right, later.
Well, she's welcome to rest her feet for a while. As long as she's using furniture and not just standing in place, it means she's fixed. Well, let's check on the finances. Good, we're losing money again. If I hadn't flaked and given Hilly the simulation gear, it'd probably be down to 50 by now, but with 10 pros working, once a few more posters get torn down, it's really going to start nosediving. Anyway, since we have a couple days to kill before Fresca's ready to make a movie, let's see if we can make some progress toward taking over the Mojave. In the old walkthrough, I went out of my way to avoid quests from the base game, which made sense because I was trying to keep it focused on questions about Coito Ergo Sum. This time, I'm kind of having fun with stuff like the profligate squad raiding the Legion fort, that kind of thing. Oh, so close. No longer well rested. If I could have shaved 1 minute off that trip, I would have gotten the bonus XP when I talked to Mr. House. Didn't want to fast travel because it dehydrates you quicker, but I think the extra XP would have been worth a bottle of water. Oh well, live and learn.
I understand you've met one of my old friends.
Oh, that's cool. You mean Larry Slater? Yes, he's alive and well in D.C.
I knew he was highly resourceful, even ruthless. Good for him. So, Benny has been handled, and you've recovered the platinum chip. Let's have it.
I have some questions to ask first.
I'll be happy to satisfy your every curiosity once the platinum chip has been delivered.
I'm not actually that worried about the payment, but I am a little bit insulted how you treat me like an errand boy.
Our terms were clear. Now that you have the chip in your possession, any attempt to renegotiate payment would be tantamount to blackmail.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not trying to renegotiate the payment, I just have a few questions. Like, I was wondering how you'd feel if the whole Mojave was being run by somebody more pragmatic than the Legion or the NCR?
This is not the time for Q&A. Kindly hand over the chip.
Look, I'm not gonna just give you what is quite literally a bargaining chip.
How shall I put this? Delivery of the platinum chip is non-negotiable. I invite you to think carefully about what you do next, standing alone before me, surrounded by my heavily armed Securitron guards.
There's no need to threaten me. And besides, if you attack me, you might destroy the chip.
By the time I was 30 years old, I was a billionaire 30 times over. I founded and ran a vast economic empire. Do you really think I'm going to let an upstart come into my home and ransom my property to me? I spent 2 centuries searching for the platinum chip. It's my invention, my property, mine! Now be a good courier and deliver it!
You heard what I did to Caesar, right? I killed him, exterminated every last legionary, centurion, and praetorian guard in his entire camp. I'm not afraid of you.
You needn't be afraid of me. It's my Securitrons that are going to kill you.
Engaging target.
Well, that could have gone better.
Targeting.
These Securitrons can really mess you up if you don't have a plan. Fortunately, since I still have the chip, I can open his private offices. I mentioned before they actually killed the stag one time, so I'm glad I didn't bring Kekata. And of course, Player Jeff knew this would end badly, but Courier Jeff didn't come in dressed for combat. See, this is the problem with negotiating by video conference. Guy on the other end cuts you off, everybody on your end goes ballistic. But I'm sure we can smooth this over if we just talk face to face. Head down to the control room. Pop a stim pack. Hello? Mr. House, you in here? Maybe he has an appointment book on that terminal. Unseal LS chamber? Sure. Probably stands for lovely and serene. Microbial infection risk. Proceed. If the autodock and PARUMP can't handle it, the lab at site at Genesis can cure just about anything. Ugh.
Why have you done this? Centuries of preparation. So much good undone.
I just wanted to talk business face to face.
If personal gain, what you sought, should have done as asked.
Here's the thing. You're obviously a very sharp guy, and you have some good ideas. You seem to be doing a good job running the strip. But your attitude is way too old world. Now, if I could interest you in a partnership of equals, not only do I still have the platinum chip, but I know where we can get you a new body. You wouldn't have to stay in that life support chamber. Ah, that's what LS chamber stands for. You know, you should always define acronyms before you use them because you know somebody's going to try to use the system without reading the manual first. I mean, I guess you could stay in there if you wanted to, but even then it would be like resetting the clock 200 years. Nope. Well, how about I put you back in your box and let you think about it for a while? You know where to find me if you change your mind.
No! Ruined everything! Exposed! Germs! A year of life! If at most!
Oh, risk of microbial infection to you, not me. Well, I'd have to imagine a new body seems even more attractive now. We'll just disable that cerebral interface so you're not distracted while you consider my offer. Yes, proceed. I lost karma for preventing a megalomaniac from bringing back the bad old days. I mean, sure, it seems like there's just going to be a different megalomaniac in charge now, but trust me, I can handle absolute power without becoming corrupted. All those other guys were just losers.
Engaging target.
I thought... Oh yeah, they stopped being hostile after he's disconnected.
Hey, look who's here.
In fact, they seem happy to see me. The one drawback to disabling House is you can't turn in snow globes to Jane anymore because Jane's not Jane anymore. But it's not like I really need the money. Now, the Securitrons aren't hostile, but I don't actually control them, so we need to go talk to Yes Man.
Excuse me, but are you the courier who caused all of that trouble in the tops?
Oh, that's weird. She usually grabs you the first time you exit the Lucky 38. I would have assumed I talked to her ages ago. Which is a pleasant surprise because she's in the top tier of at least 2 magazine sections. I don't think she disappears from the game after you do her quest, but she can wander off and be hard to find. Anyway, yep, that's me.
Oh, great. The followers of the apocalypse, well, some of us anyway, have been interested in Mr. House's technology, how he stays alive. Of course, no one else is allowed inside the Lucky 38, so no one knows what's going on. Well, except for you.
Yes, I do. It's nothing nefarious, just a temporary stalemate in negotiations, but I do know what's going on. And this is where I come in.
Right. We just want to find out what sort of technology Mr. House has used to stay alive for all these years. It could be of great benefit to the people we try to help, many of whom suffer from hard-to-diagnose illnesses.
Dr. Jeff diagnoses a terminally low discussion of caps in this conversation.
Ah, I see. I suppose I can give you some medical supplies for your efforts. I assure you they will be worth plenty of caps.
All right, I'll do it.
Great! I'll have the medical supplies for you by the time you come back. Here, take this packet sniffer. It'll allow us to intercept data on Mr. House's network. You might have to manually remove the encryption from his data network, but hopefully you won't have too much trouble. Good luck.
I shouldn't have any trouble since Mr. House isn't connected to his network anymore. I'm sure everybody knows the drill here. Go to the terminal behind the bar on the balcony and install the sniffer. It's kind of weird because it's locked with a hard password, but you can still install the sniffer even if you have no science skill at all. Anyway, bug the network. And go back outside and talk to Emily again. I could go home, get some sleep, and fast travel back if I wanted to farm an extra couple of XP, but I'm not doing that.
Hey, have you been able to bug Mr. House's network yet?
I bugged the tower for you.
Good to hear. But it looks like the bug was deactivated a few minutes after it went online. It looks like House has some kind of countermeasure in place to prevent eavesdropping on his network. We'll get through eventually, just not today. Here are those medical supplies I promised. Hopefully you won't need to use them. Take care.
And I leveled up anyway. Nice. We'll bump survival up to 75. Max out repair. And put the rest in barter. And this is a perk level. There are a couple things I could use. Being able to fast travel while encumbered is great in normal mode, but in hardcore mode I don't fast travel very often. Jury rigging is great because it gives you way more options to repair your gear. You don't need to have duplicates of the same item, but I don't know if it affects the Enfield because that's from a mod. But I've been thinking about weapon handling forever. My strength isn't that great, and I think it would let me use the anti-materiel rifle without the strength penalty for those occasions when I need something that hits harder than the Enfield. So that's our winner. And we're not done with Emily.
What's up?
Is there another way to get Mr. House's data?
After 2 tries, I think I've learned enough. I'm sure there's something more promising I could be helping the other followers with. Oh yeah. I didn't tell you about the first time. I'd rather not talk about it if you don't mind.
Hey, I risked a lot to get you that data feed. I could have gotten a hangnail on the terminal or something.
True. All right. The first try was a little less professional. Someone important on the strip had access to some of House's technology. Specifically, a Securitron. And more specifically, the someone was Benny. I know, he shot you in the head and everything. But this was a while ago. I knew he was sleazy, but I didn't realize he was so cold-blooded.
Did Benny say why he had the Securitron?
He sure didn't. Benny was pretty tight-lipped and cryptic about the thing. But he did let me poke around in it for a while. I wound up helping Benny a lot more than he helped me. Once he had access to the Securitron's memory banks, he kicked me out of the tops. Big surprise, right? Should have seen that coming.
What did he have you do?
The Securitron was disabled somehow. Might have been an EMP given some of the damage I saw. Anyway, he wanted it re-enabled and connected to Mr. House's data network. The trick was getting it to be invisible on the network. If Mr. House detects a rogue Securitron in his system, he remotely fries it. Getting around that security feature was a bit tricky.
Didn't tell anyone about it?
Yeah, strange as it sounds, I figured that bad-mouthing one of the Strip's most powerful people wasn't a good idea. The only reason why I'm telling you any of this is because he's gone now.
Let's talk about something else.
What do you want to know?
Why wasn't the data useful?
We were connected for half a minute and received enough data to fill 5 holodisks. It looked like nonsense at first, but we decoded it. It was all biometric data, life signs from Mr. House. The technology he's using is so advanced that it samples data hundreds of times per second. It's fascinating, but depressing. Whatever technology he has can't possibly be practical for the people out here.
No, it probably isn't. At least not anymore. What do you do around here?
I'm interested in medicine, but it's not my strong suit. I try to help out with any computer issues the followers have. That's why I was helping out with the research into Mr. House's technology. Trying to, anyway.
How long have you been with the followers?
About 5 years now. I have family back in Arroyo. But this is where all the good work is being done, so to speak. NCR taxes and inflation have been hard for a lot of people to deal with, and most of the money's going to the war effort. There's not much funding for medical research with OSI or any other group. Not unless it has a military application, anyway.
Yep, well, Kimball's a fascist. Goodbye.
See you when I see you.
Which is right now.
What's up?
Did you know I resumed publication of Lollipops magazine?
Way to go!
Thanks. Not everyone appreciates the effort. Hey, you should pose for me.
Give me a reason.
Oh, there are so many. I'd get a few XP for the perception check that she has a wild side and sometimes she can't resist indulging it, which is totally lore-based. She didn't mention it just now, but she got drunk and slept with Benny while they were working on Yes Man. You can guilt her into it by mentioning the bug you planted again. Tell her how much fun it was if you posed yourself, but I took Lady Killer for a reason. We'll improve on the original. You're hotter than those pre-war dames, or anyone in the Mojave.
That's sweet of you to say, even if it isn't true.
Was that a good enough reason?
Absolutely.
Sweet. If you can get away for a few hours, my studio is in Mountain Springs.
Let's go.
Fresca's gonna check this out too. Let's get out the camera. Hell, she's recording it. Good thinking. No wonder you were the top-grossing porno director of all time. Yeah, she definitely has a wild side. All right, now we can go back to the strip and talk to Yes Man. What do you think? She was pretty good, huh? Well, at least Fresca has a professional interest. And the old walkthrough, Veronica ogled the models to the point that it was just embarrassing.
Oh! Hi again! Can I help you with something else?
I'm ready for you to join me at the Lucky 38.
Mr. House is out of the picture and you have the platinum chip? Wonderful! Let's go!
Now, I think he just magically teleports to the Lucky 38 when you go there, but after my recent temporary follower fiasco, I don't want to do anything that might screw him up. Oh, they still haven't cleaned up Benny.
Here goes! I'll just take that platinum chip off your hands. Thanks. Wish me luck. See you soon. Wow! Mr. House had quite a setup here. I can access his databanks and view telemetry on every Securitron on the network. Wait. So, that's what the platinum chip does. Interesting. Mr. House had a whole demonstration planned for you. Just head downstairs to the lowest level to check it out. You'll see.
And this whole thing is a cutscene, but let's see what kind of Mojave conquering resources I have available.
Step closer to the demonstration area, please. Okay, so you're familiar with Securitrons by now, obviously. I mean, some of your best friends are Securitrons, right? All this time, we've been running the Mark I operating system, which doesn't have drivers for our primary weapons. Imagine! Now watch this. I'm downloading the Mark II OS to all Securitrons on the network. Makes quite a difference. With the M235 missile launcher, we can engage ground and air targets at long range. And a rapid-fire G-28 grenade launching system makes us deadly in close-range engagements. Woo! Look at that! I hope you enjoyed this demonstration. You can come back up and see me or be on your way. I know you're a busy person.
I'm just going to be on my way, because just like the 3 faction-related quest lines, there's a point beyond which the other factions will stop working with you, and we're almost to that point. I want to recruit NCR personnel as magazine models.
If it isn't our favorite VIP.
Thanks. Little off topic for Coito Ergo soon, but I've seen Let's Plays where the Courier supports the NCR, the Legion, or Mr. House, but I've never seen one for this 4th option, which I think some people don't even know exists. If I fail Don't Tread on the Bear, NCR military personnel will probably refuse to pose for the magazine. If you fail it because you're working with Caesar, they label you a terrorist and shoot you on sight, so obviously that would be true if you were going for the Legion ending. With Mr. House or Yes Man, they just give you the cold shoulder, but I'm guessing that would also mean no posing. Bottom line, we'd better recruit NCR models while we still can.
I heard you killed Benny over at the Tops. I bet you think you're some sort of tough cookie. A piece of advice. If you mess with any of my men, you'll regret it.
This is a tough assignment. Ineffective bureaucrats, distracted troops, apathetic locals.
What do you know about our problems?
I know you're not winning hearts and minds on the Strip. I can help.
Make it quick.
Pose for Lollipops magazine. Might even enjoy yourself.
Sure. Better than nothing.
If you can spare a couple of hours, my studio's in Mountain Springs.
Let's get going.
Looks like Fresca's settling in for another show. No need the camera out, not the rifle. I'm going to be going all over the map for this, so I should probably start fast traveling. I'd rather use a little bit more food and water than waste a lot of time and ammo on random encounters. She's not very enthusiastic, but she's famous. I already shot Link in Kudlow, and I'm doing the rest of the Rangers first because on-site photo shoots saved me a round trip.
Why are you still here?
This might interest a communications specialist. Lollipops is back in business.
I'd still rather take my leave at the Strip.
I didn't mean come there as a customer. I meant you could pose for the magazine.
Oh, okay.
Sweet. Let's shoot right here before you get cold feet.
I guess I always thought I'd do it. I just never got my nerve up.
See? Fun, right? Want to do your part for morale and earn 50 caps in the process?
Yeah.
Pose for Lollipops magazine. You might even enjoy yourself.
All right.
My studio's at the ass end of nowhere. We can just shoot here, unless you're shy.
Let's get this going.
I want to shoot as many models as I can before Fresca gets the studio ready, because at that point I need to hurry up and make a movie before Leah goes back to California. If you're wondering why I keep obsessing on Leah, in terms of her bonuses for magazines and movies, she's one of the top 10 in the game. But you can't do photo shoots while Fresca's using the studio to make a movie, and by the time she's done, I'll probably be locked out of asking any more NCR soldiers to pose.
Hey.
All right. Ranger Gomez is next on the list. Hey Gomez, you're strong, sexy, and graceful. You should pose for Lollipops magazine.
You think it'd be good for business?
Yes, but I think it would be even better for morale. The troops, and yours too.
Yeah, what the hell?
Oh, I forgot. Gomez does a studio shoot. Huh? Please don't be broken. Hold on.
I've been meaning to thank you. If you hadn't tried to discover who killed me, I'd still be in that simulation. So thanks. You're welcome, but you should really thank the Master. He found the means to rescue you. Oh, I have. Anyway, why were you so determined to solve a 200-year-old mystery? I don't know. I met a scholar in the pit who believed erotica was art in its purest form. I learned about you from him. It would have been nice to have him around when they were writing reviews for 19th Hole. I doubt that. He was also an assassin and a propagandist for slavers. Even better, he would have made a perfect critic. At any rate, I felt a connection with you. There are parallels in our lives, but it was more than that. Irrational, but compelling. If you write an autobiography, please wait until I'm retired. That's going to encourage stalkers like you wouldn't believe. I notice you use humor to deflect subjects you find uncomfortable. No, I use it to diffuse subjects other people might find uncomfortable. For example, how is it even possible for a synthetic person to be obsessed? I wouldn't say obsessed. I'd say intrigued. You walked across 2,000 miles of radioactive wasteland. You know more about me than I do. Hell, you even sound like me. You're obsessed. My programming has some anomalies. Internal diagnostics say defective. I prefer eccentric. Perhaps it's related. It seems like an awfully specific anomaly. Well, thanks for talking to me about it anyway. Anytime.
Okay, good. Cool that it's a plot point that they sound alike. Oh, Gomez. Sorry. She'll still show up on the layout terminal, so I can only assume Fresca left the video camera running so we can get some shots off that. I need to eat and drink again before too long, but it's not a big... Oh, okay, Fresca's ready. Which is fine, because now that I think about it, Ghost does a studio shoot like Gomez, and that'll actually be our quickest way back.
Looks like we booted the Legion out of Nelson. About damn time. Thanks for the assist. Wish others around here had your drive.
Did you know I got Lollipop's magazine running again?
I bet you think you're pretty special, don't you?
Me? Nah. You, on the other hand. Hey, you should pose for me.
Why would I want to do that?
You have a body that would inspire the troops and scare the shit out of the Legion.
Yeah, I do.
Forget Jackson. It would be good for morale, and you know it.
You're just wasting my time.
Oh. Well, that's not good. Damn it. There are a handful of people who have to get clearance from the brass. It doesn't just make their speech challenge easier, and apparently she's one of them. Well, I'm not wasting the trip. Let's talk to Lacey. We'll get the free teleport back to the studio, and she's a pretty good model.
Hey.
And if you didn't see the old walkthrough, I realized back then that the real point of Belthan's mods is getting to see characters who always wear a hat without their hats.
Background? Just my luck. What'll it be this time?
Would you want 50 caps right now, or a chance to improve business for years to come?
Maybe.
Hedging your bets. Very shrewd. Well, pose for Lollipop's magazine and you get both.
Oh, well, yeah, I can do that.
Don't worry, she's gonna take it off. There we go. And how did I know it was going to be a mullet?
Those Freeside thugs aren't worth our time anymore.
I guess not. You live on the opposite side of the wasteland from them. Fresca?
Hey, it's the hottest producer in Vegas. What's happening?
Let's talk about making movies.
I'm pretty excited about it. It's been almost 2 years. I mean, I know it's been over 200, but it feels like 2, and that's too long.
Let's talk about casting.
I can coax a good performance out of anybody who's willing to bang in front of the camera. My idea of who's hot might be a little out of date, though. You should probably handle the casting.
Anything specific I should look for?
I know a lot more about production than marketing. Personally, I like variety, but some people would rather see 4 busty blondes.
I know a lot of pros. Will that work?
Experience is important, but a horny housewife might be hotter on film than a bored hooker.
We put eye candy in the front of the magazine and sexy models in the back, something like that.
If we have a couple gorgeous people for the cover and a couple filthy people for the signature scenes, I can work with that. Of course, if you can find people who are gorgeous and filthy, that's the holy grail.
How many actors and actresses do you need?
4 men and 4 women should cover all the bases, as long as a few of them are switch hitters.
I may fill one of the roles myself, but I want to leave my options open for the moment. Enough about casting.
Anything else?
Do you need someone to build a set?
Larry's editing console was state of the art. I would have never done this back in the day, but I'm just going to shoot everything green screen.
How are you set for wardrobe?
Your wardromatic still works, so we're pretty well covered. If you can find any programming tapes with new patterns, variety is always good.
Let's talk about themes.
What did you have in mind?
If you're supporting the Legion or just want to improve your Legion fame at the cost of NCR infamy, you can tell her to make movies that ridicule the NCR. Obviously, no point doing that now. Likewise, pro-NCR propaganda gives you NCR fame and Legion infamy, and likewise, no point doing that. So let's maximize our profits. You're a legend. I'll trust your judgment to deliver a bestseller.
Thanks. You won't be disappointed.
Sounds like you have it under control.
I think I do. Anything else?
Nope. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right, I'm going to call it a day, and we can start recruiting movie stars next week. See you then.